Ed Gein's mom, Augusta Wilhelmine, would oftenly preach to them about how drinking is evil and that the belief that women were instruments of the devil. She was very religious. I read them the Bible and oftenly punished them or Ed Gein for making friends at school. His father, George Philip, was an alcoholic and couldn't keep his job. And when Ed would come home crying, he would beat them. Ed was exposed to animal abuse when he was very young, and his mom isolated him from everybody, so he mostly just went to school, came back to the farm, and when he was alone, he would read magazines about cannibals and Nazis, and he would laugh randomly at school. First, his dad died by heart failure from alcohol, and then his brother Henry died in a fire. He died from suffocation, and shortly after, his mother also died from a stroke. After his mother died, he went crazy. He took on many jobs and was mostly a handyman. He never had kids or any wives. He was very much a loner and was isolated his entire adulthood. During his trial, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and he was declared mentally incompetent and a sexual psychopath, and he spent the rest of his life in a mental hospital.
Okay, now let's talk about his crimes. Now, Gein was a murderer, and in 1954 he killed Mary Hogan, and in 1957 he killed Bernice Worden. How Ed Gein went about this was he killed Mary Hogan with his .32 caliber revolver, and Worden, he shot and robbed her at her own store and then dragged her body out onto a sleigh. Another crime of Ed Gein was that he was a grave robber, and the bodies that he stole he took to his house and did all sorts of crazy things with them. Now, fortunately, this is what happened to one of his female victims that he killed, and he did indeed make a skin suit out of all the body parts I guess he collected. This is truly horrifying. This is what the police had to walk into his house and discover. This is the type of things in the crime scene that Ed Gein has produced out of skin and body parts and all sorts of things. He created attire through humans. Ed Gein, on November 21st, 1957, went on trial and was arraigned on one count of first-degree murder in Washoe County Court. He pleaded not guilty because, or by reason of insanity. He was then committed to Central State Hospital, and after 10 years of being in that hospital, he was fit to stand trial again. But he was still found insane to take on the punishment, so he was committed back to the same place. During the late 1970s, he was moved to Mendota Mental Health Institute, where he died of cancer on July 26, 1984. And he had a headstone, but it was highly vandalized for obvious reasons for his popularity. And that was the end of Ed Gein.
He was an organized killer because he left little evidence at his crime scenes. He moved bodies and kept trophies from them. He planned everything and put graves back in good shape after robbing them. And then he was hedonistic because he seeked pleasure from mutilating corpses and making things out of their body parts. He ended up killing people because of his childhood. His parents were both abusive towards him, and his dad would beat him when he was upset. And his mom would also punish him for making friends. He was often bullied at school for his lazy eye, and he was exposed to violence at a young age. He was kept isolated and often followed his mother, so after she died, he didn't know what else to do.